part 2 of how I do my wedding makeup if I was using nothing but drugstore products as a person who's done bridal makeup for 8 years now. We left off doing the under eye concealer and we actually used a foundation for that, so go check out that video if you want to know what we used, and then we went and blended it out with a sponge. I'm going to add a little bit more to the sides of my nose here just to brighten those areas up. And then we're going to go in with my favorite, which is the Milani Contour in Hey Honey. And I'm going to use a dense brush for this because it's a cream. And I'm going to apply this evenly to this brush, okay? And you can dust off the excess on the back of your hand if you feel like it's too much, but you really want it to be on your brush evenly. Then I'm going to find where my cheekbone is right here, and I'm going to not start at my ear, okay, but I'm going to start right there, right on that bone, okay, right where I want that definition. And notice I'm pushing and tapping into the skin. 1, this is going to help with longevity of your foundation, and 2, this is going to help you not have like a harsh streak line of bronzer down your face, which is left on the brush to go down the sides of my nose here, just to add a little bit of warmth, and going on to my other cheek right here. And notice I'm not swiping, wiping, twirling, rubbing, none of that. I am tapping and pushing this product into the cheek, and I'm not taking it real low, okay? I'm being very particular about the product placement. Bring your skin back to life by reapplying and adding all of those products, but very particularly and meticulously exactly where you want. Now we're gonna look a bit crazy by before we get to like our powder products, you know what I'm saying? But the point of layering creams and then powders is the longevity and how flawless and blended everything is gonna look. This is the ColourPop blush stick. I absolutely love this, and I'm actually gonna use a foundation dome brush, okay, to blend this out. Usually I use the Real Techniques setting brush, and I love that, but notice I am pushing, tapping, pushing, tapping. I might be going in a circular motion, but I am not using the circular motion to blend it on my skin and blend it out on my skin. I'm using the tapping motion to spread and distribute. I'm using the circular motion for where I'm distributing the product, okay? Fill that up as much as you want, and then we're gonna go in with my all-time favorite, hands down, best powder from the drugstore ever, $8 for 1.12 ounces. I know the specs of this by heart because I'm telling it, it's the best in the game. The Makeup Revolution Translucent Setting Powder, and what I'm gonna do is go in, blend out the creases from my under eye, which naturally we have, but then I'm gonna go in with a powder puff. I'm going to get this on my powder puff and tap off the excess on the back of my hand so I don't have like cakey layered up weirdness going on. And then I'm going to push this into my under eye. And pushing this into my under eye is going to make it really marry with those cream products and genuinely set it where it sits. Get it to set exactly where it's at and not move, crease, jumble, or bunch up or be weird. And this also has a little bit of a blurring effect to it, which I really love, and a brightening effect if you layer up on it. Go ahead and set the entirety of my face. And what this is going to do is help me to be able to blend my powder products better because I'm not putting them directly onto creams. And having a skin colored powder on top kind of helps me from having to make mistakes. It's kind of there as a buffer, if you will. Now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and the L'Oreal Infallible Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer, and I'm going to tap this where I want bronzer. Now we've already done contour, but I want to kind of bring some warmth back to the skin and the face now that I have powdered everything. This brings life back. It helps the bronzer last longer because as this foundation starts to wear off and the powders start to sink into the skin, what you have underneath is your base already because we layered with creams before going in with powder. We're going to do the same with blush. This is Milani Luminoso. This is a beautiful baked Italian formulated blush that is just stunning, that I have always said will be the blush that I wear on my wedding day, and I'm pretty sure I used it in the last video too, even though that wasn't a drugstore video. It's just always the blush that I've said that I would use because it's so stunning, so beautiful. It gives your skin like a beautiful sheen. And that's where I am in this life, okay? Now I'm going to take the bronzer we put on our face and we used in the crease of our eye, and I'm going to connect my eyeshadow with a big fluffy brush underneath this eye, just really buffing this out with light pressure and kind of bringing it down. A good thing about eyeshadow underneath the eye is it can kind of help to hide any eye wrinkles or fine lines or anything like that, or any creasing really of product as well. It kind of helps to take the attention away from that and just gives you this sultry bronziness. Now you'll notice I'm really only doing the outer 2/3 of my eye. I like the main focus and attention of my eyes to be on the outer corner. I feel like it elongates them and gives me kind of like a sultry, sexy, caddish type of eye. I'm gonna go in with a teensier brush that we used right up here with that warmer, slightly darker brown shadow and put that right up against my lash line, making it sure to connect that to the upper lash line just to give me a little bit more dimension. And if you feel like you have a hard time blending out your under eye, a really good trick is to go in with a super fluffy brush and a very light shadow, almost your skin tone, and just buff around the edges, because it's going to give you that really flawless, like I looked like I blended forever, but really I just added another color that got lighter, because when you're blending, you're creating a gradient. So sometimes if you use colors to your advantage that are lighter, it creates the gradient for you. As you blend a color, it gets lighter and lighter and more sheer, which makes the hue, the vibrancy of that color appear less opaque. And so if you just use a lighter color, you already create that gradient. Now I'm gonna go in with a fixing spray before I do my mascara. This is the NYX fixing spray. It is a Prime Set Refresh spray, and it's a multitasking spray. This adds hydration back to the skin. But my favorite thing about fixing spray is that it re-wets those powders, and then you can take your sponge and gently push this into the skin. This is going to help your makeup to last, but it's also going to make it look so much more flawless and seamless, because instead of looking like you have layers and layers and layers of makeup, it's going to re-wet everything. So when you're pushing it in like this, it becomes one mask of makeup together, one conjoined all together, just a seamless mask of makeup. Does that make sense? Then for my eyelashes, I'm going to use Pacifica. This is a their vegan collagen mascara. I would just use something waterproof, super dark, super black. For my lip combo, I'm using the NYX liner in London. Then I'm using their Suede Matte Lip in London as well. I love this combo. Really, I love this lipstick. It is like my all-time go-to favorite. If you want to lighten it up, I suggest using just a little bit of concealer on your finger and putting that just in the center, avoiding where you put lip liner, and it's going to give you some dimension and lighten up that lip just a little bit, which will help make your lips look bigger. Like, hello. If you want glitter, add glitter onto your eyes. If you want any of that, now's the time to add it. I'm gonna add my favorite drugstore highlighter, which is the Wet n Wild Marilyn Monroe collection. It's stunning. It's stunning. This looks so good on the skin, especially for a drugstore highlight. Look at that. Don't sleep on Wet n Wild, you guys. Setting with the Pacifica Set and Protect Matte Sheer Setting Mist, and then adding my lashes. And that is the final drugstore bridal makeup look. What do you guys think?